We've got a man in a mask carrying a sign. There's a painted guy in the middle of the student section, and a dude with a wig. Must be Shula Bowl time. FIU jumped out to an early 3-0 lead and was looking for more, but the Owls made a defensive stand, forcing a fumble from T.Y. Hilton. Ed Alexander jumped on it for the turnover. FAU's defense went turnover happy in the game. More on that in a bit. The Owls offense took a little while to get going. Senior wide receiver Lester Jean finally got the Owls moving in the right direction with this catch and run that goes for 23 yards. It also set up the first score of the game for FAU. It's a 20-yard touchdown pass from Jeff Van Camp to Jean. The score gave the Owls a 7-6 lead. It would be a big game for Jean, who would go on to be named the game MVP.
We practiced that play several times, and then after practice, I practiced it a couple of times by myself to make sure that it'll be on point when it was time for us to run it in the game.
The Owls lost their lead in the third quarter, but it could have been worse. Redshirt freshman cornerback Demetrius Williams' nifty pass breakup forced the Panthers to settle for a field goal, and then FAU answered right back. On a 3rd and 8 from the FIU 16, just give the ball to Alfred Morris. He bangs off defenders. It's more than just a first down, it's a touchdown.
I thought they were going to tackle me at one point, but they just kept hitting me and falling off, and I just kept turning my legs. So I was like, and that was the point I was like, these guys don't want to tackle. I was like, I'm going to just keep running that hard at them.
Let's move ahead to the fourth quarter, and what a bizarre fourth quarter it turned out to be. FIU was primed to take the lead. The Panthers had the ball at the FAU 1 and took 3 cracks at the end zone, but the Owls turned them away. FAU then took over and went 98 yards. Willie Floyd is small, he's fast, he's hard to find. Look at him go. He's not going to be caught. 65 yards for the score. Floyd rushed for 93 yards on the afternoon, by far his best game of the year.
We actually debuted one of our new formations with me, Blanchard, and Alfred in the backfield. And the first play, Jeff let block, and he cleaned his man out. And all I saw was Lester up the field blocking, so all I had to do was sprint.
From there, the FAU defense, which had been dominant, simply had to hold on. And this is when it gets bizarre. Safety Ed Alexander picks off the pass. It looks like he could go all the way for the score. No, he doesn't. In fact, he fumbled. FIU recovered the ball, and it goes back to the Golden Panthers. 2 plays later, the Owls get the ball back. Jarvis Gibbons on the pressure. That's Marcus Bartels, who intercepted Wesley Carroll. Bartels returned it to the FIU 20. Yes, a late hit was called on that. And the Owls only had to kill the final 6-13. Just give the ball to Alfred Morris. The sure-handed running back would go, whoops. Ball on the ground. It's recovered by FIU, and the Owls defense, they head back to the field. FIU has life. Not for long. 2 plays later, well, in Carroll's defense, FAU safety Marcus Bartels was wide open. The junior hauls in his 2nd pick of the afternoon.
We felt pretty good about our pass defense all season, and it's also really good when we know they're going to pass the ball and we can play the pass, and our D-line can just get after it. Helps us out. And that's all it was.
From there, it was Alfred Morris time. The big guy carried the ball on 6 of the next 7 plays, including a 21-yard run. FAU milked the final 5:23 off the clock, and then it was time for the celebration. This Gatorade bucket, by the way, not going where you'd think. Offensive line coach Dale Williams gets the soaking. Maligned much of the year, the Owls' offensive line paved the way for 187 rushing yards and allowed only 1 sack of Van Camp.
This game is completely on the offensive line. They won this football game. They're finally coming together. They got the experience they needed. We were rotating a lot of guys in there today, and they made it all happen today. They didn't give up 1 sack. The 1 sack wasn't on them. There was no sacks by the offensive line. They whooped their tails up front, and they got it done. That's why we won today.
For the 8th time in 9 tries, FAU partied with the Shula Bowl trophy. And yes, that's newly inaugurated FAU President Mary Jane Saunders in the middle of it. FIU could have moved into sole possession of the Sun Belt Conference lead with a victory. Instead, the Owls continue their Shula Bowl dominance with a 21-9 victory over their rivals to the south. Bringing the story to FAUOwlAccess.com, I'm Chuck King.